try local. Just come give us a shot. We guarantee you to offer a complete different level of customer service and quality of meats than you're going to find anywhere else.
All right, welcome to another episode of Clear Lake Connections, where we talk to the people behind the businesses of Bay Area Houston. So today I have with me John Tyrna with the Chopping Block. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Tell me about the Chopping Block, please.
Man, the Chopping Block, it's just awesome. It's my favorite place in the world to be. It makes it very hard to take days off because I literally it's my favorite place to be in the world. I love to cut meat. I love to make sausage. I love to make boudin.
And how did you get into making sausage?
Got into making sausage at about 15 years old. I graduated from Clear Lake High School right down the road, and from Mr. Hine, Ag Meat Processing was my favorite class. I took 1, 2, 3, and 4, most of them all twice because I had a few extra classes to take.
Wow.
And I had a pretty big hiatus after that once I joined the military. And then got out and kind of figured out my way through life. It brought me right back to it.
So you came back to your passion that you learned at Clear Lake High School. So that's a fantastic kind of buy into Bay Area story. We talk a lot about buying to Bay Area and local, and buying local, thinking local. And it sounds like your local butcher shop that you run started as a passion because of what you learned at the local high school. So that's a great kind of way to bring it all around for us. And thank you for your service. I have to mention that. You are a veteran-owned business, so thank you for that. Tell us, when did you guys open, and kind of what are some of the lessons you've learned along the way of kind of opening this business in the Clear Lake area?
We opened January 29th of 2020. So we had opened, give or take 45 to 60 days right before this whole, the whole pandemic started. And we have learned more than I care to have wanted to learn in the first year. But I'm glad that we did. And we've just it's presented very many obstacles for everybody, and just finding ways to overcome those and excel. And then, right after we kind of started to get back to normal from that, we had the snowpocalypse this year, which, that hit us pretty hard. But, I've learned to name one lesson. I don't know. Pretty much just listen to everything, but take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. And so you opened right before the pandemic. Did you initially see a boost because people started cooking more on their own? We've had other food businesses on the podcast, and they kind of saw an upward trend early on in the pandemic as people really took advantage of learning to cook and cooking at home. Did you notice the same thing? We
did. And to say that we have hard numbers to say, oh, it did this or that, we don't have the numbers from the year before to know, but we definitely saw about a 30% increase in our foot traffic.
Oh, wow.
Which I would say definitely helped us a lot.
So let's say you get somebody who's kind of new to cooking, new to meats. They walk into your store. What are some things that they're going to notice, be impressed about? I was on your website, and you've got, it seems like you got a really good, knowledgeable team.
I have a fantastic team, and without the team that I have, we would be nothing. Because my team excels and picks up everywhere that I don't. I know meat, I know cattle, they know cooking, preparing, barbecuing, and I have I can get by in all aspects of things. But that is where my guys excel.
Yeah, and that's interesting because, we talk about business on this show, and it sounds like you've mastered the idea that, first of all, that people are your biggest asset, but that you don't have to be an expert at everything, and you're willing to allow other people to help you with that. And in grad school, I learned that most small businesses fail because the owner tries to do everything and basically just burns out. So it sounds like you've got a nice mix of experience there to kind of fill in the gaps where you have gaps and vice versa.
100%. I mean, starting with the first person that I deal with every day and the last person I deal with every day, my wife, HR. She is the backside of everything, but she excels everywhere that I don't when it comes to business. So as far as running a business between me and my wife and then our other business partner, my uncle, it's just with his business knowledge and then all my wife's knowledge of the backside of things from managing apartments and apartment communities for so long. It's just, we make a great team. But then add in our guys. We're not like a normal place. You're not just an employee. We talk to our guys about everything. Some of our most popular selling seasonings, I'll use Spiceology for an example. One of the guys brought it in one day, showed it to me. I looked at their website and was like, well, this stuff's amazing, but it's very expensive. That's just for a new company like this, that's a huge investment. But they brought it in, they made their points, they used it. I tried it and they cooked it in a couple different ways. They showed me the social media following that they had and all that knowledge. And so we brought in a few. We rolled the dice, and now I've got, I don't even know how many Spiceology seasonings. I've got 2 full shelves of it, and the guys know every time that we reorder to stock up to bring in 1 to 3 new ones, just kind of depending on what they've got at the time.
That's great. So I saw on your website you guys specialized in dry aged beef, or it's you have two or more, I can't remember, dry aging. I guess they're coolers. Yeah. Tell me what makes dry aging so good for beef, and maybe the difference between that and wet aging.
My favorite cut to take is our High Plains bone-in ribeyes. You're taking anywhere from a $16.99 to an $18.99 piece of meat, and we stick it in there for a minimum of 30 days. 30 to 45 days, you're just altering the flavor profile of the beef, or you're just altering the tenderness of the beef. You are not altering the flavor profile so much. And so what it does is as we slowly dry out that beef, it increases the beefiness and the beef flavor in the beef. So you're taking out some of the moisture, replace it, and that's just increasing the beefiness. And it's unlike any other. Some people, you either love it or you hate it after 45 days.
So yeah, and I know that a lot of the high end steak places, that's how they serve it. So it gives people the opportunity to basically get the same kind of meat that they're used to getting at some of those high end places. What tips do you give to the first timer that comes in, gets a nice piece of beef, and they're gonna take it home to cook it?
We provide them with as much or as little information that they want on that piece of beef and how to cook it with the tools that they have at their house. That's a big benefit of having a 5-star culinary trained chef in-house, is that he can literally help you prepare your meal as mild or wild as you want it.
And so you talked about having that chef in-house. I noticed on your website you have a lot of different sides available as well. And so I'm assuming that those are chef-inspired.
A lot of those are chef-inspired, and we try to keep them rotating, as with a lot of our items that we carry, be it right now we still have our breaded chicken breast, which is usually more of a winter comfort food, along with chuck roasts and chili grind. We still get requests daily for it and are still carrying it because the people still love it. It's still meshing with what they're eating. So we're still carrying those at the moment. But a lot of our sides, they do vary and they do change with the seasons or by what fresh produce we can get at the moment.
And so we talk about buying to Bay Area and sourcing local. Do you have some examples of buying into Bay Area and trying to use as local as possible when it comes to ingredients?
We carry multiple different ingredients that are not necessarily super local. Besides, we carry Das Good, which they are, I think, in the process of opening a store in Kemah right now, but they are a local business as well. We carry a lot more Texas, than just immediate Clear Lake area.
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of
We don't have a lot of
ranches
farms
around
and
here.
ranches around
No,
here, but
no.
our beef comes from all of our Wagyu comes from Rosewood Ranches in Ennis, Texas. The things that we like to do to, mesh with everyone else in the Clear Lake area is, first of all, I'm frequent any and every bakery of the area. After my love for beef and all things meat is sweets. I just absolutely love it, especially a good cinnamon roll.
So I want to get back to this this idea. We were talking before we started about how the local butchers kind of made a comeback in America, at least here, and I've seen quite a few of them open up. And tell me what you think is driving that.
People want to know where their beef are coming from. Not that I have an opinion either way on big beef or anything like that, but a lot of people want to buy local. They want to know where their beef is coming from. They want a little bit more transparency, and so that's what's bringing back your butcher. If HEB is a fantastic store. I grocery shop there, but the butchers there only do so much, and they're only can do so much because that's what fits their business plan.
Yeah.
And so we're a little more custom. We will, we do our best. We do not carry everything because a lot of things just don't sell. As much as I would love to be able to sell chicken leg quarters every day of the week, the people of Clear Lake do not like them.
Yeah. Can't blame them.
But the butcher, that is what's bringing it back. And to me, and part of my passion and love for it, is it's still one of the old trades where you take your two hands and some tools, and that's what you use.
Yeah, and I think you and I talked about this, that it's somewhat of an art form, and you really, and I'm not, like you said, the grocery stores are great for certain things, but there's no art in the way they butcher their meat, and so I think artisanal businesses are really making a comeback, and people really want that level of artisanship when it comes to, like you mentioned, bakers, the butchers, and I said earlier that the towns that I used to live in when I was a small boy all had the butcher, the baker, and the cheesemaker, and you get used to visiting those, and you get the highest quality, and people are demanding, I think, that now more than ever.
We have a very, very large clientele base that come in numerous times a week for fresh, mild Italian sausage, fresh Italian sausage, chorizo, breakfast sausage, and then plain breakfast sausage, as well as bacon and ground beef, and just chicken. It all does, but our fresh sausages, that no additives, no preservatives, nothing. They're not smoked. People love them.
Yeah, and you mentioned fresh, and since you're in charge of everything that's coming in and going out, that level of freshness is just amplified. You take that very seriously.
I do. During the week, it kind of varies. On the weekend, stuff is usually, nothing stays there from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Nothing is in that case more than 24 hours. And during the week, nothing ever is in there more than 72 hours. They're usually in and out in 24 to 48 hours.
So how do you keep that kind of supply line going? It's because you do all the butchering in-house. The entire animal, correct?
On our busier days, we just keep more and more people cutting. On Fridays or on Saturdays alone, we have Steve, my mentor, and he does nothing but cut meat all day long on Saturday. From the moment he gets there at 8 a.m. until he is done, he does nothing but cut meat. And the other guys during the weekends, they rotate through, as their cases run down, they have to refill them too, depending on the level of how busy we are. But on the weekends, we have one person that cuts meat all the time.
Wow. You already talked about how you developed this passion, and so have you always lived in the Clear Lake area?
I grew up in Seabrook, Texas, graduated from Clear Lake High School. About a year after that, moved away to Virginia for 4 years when I was stationed in the Army. I came back, went to A&M Galveston, and for about a year. And at the end of that year, I met my wife, decided I wanted to look at a different passion. And me and my wife have lived all over the area from Dickinson to we just sold our house in Santa Fe. And we're staying with her mom in League City.
So I wanted to ask you about your partnership with HTO, another chamber member that you've met and worked with. But before we do that, I need to go to Sherry Sweeney for some important chamber announcements.
Hello, Clear Lake Area Chamber of Commerce members and Bay Area Houston. We're listening to Chopping Block today, and I know I'm getting hungry. Come out to Epicurean Evening on May 20th at the Kemah Boardwalk. You'll get to sample the Chopping Block and about 30 other amazing food establishments in Clear Lake, Bay Area, Houston. For ticket information, go to clearlakearea.com.
Okay, we're back, and I was asking you about your partnership, kind of a buy into Bay Area testimonial about working with a local company and it sounds like there's some crossover there. HTO, can you tell me a little bit about that partnership?
HTO, we love those guys. They're just like us, another group, small business guys. We went over there. They were customers of ours. We were customers of theirs. Didn't even know it. They came over one day to talk to us about something, and next thing you know, we were over there for their anniversary, for their 1 year anniversary a couple of weeks back, cooking samples and then just helping them celebrate. And we had a great time. Actually, they'll be over at our store May 8th, giving away samples and sampling some tea and stuff. And just, it'll be a real good time that weekend.
And where exactly is the store located, for those that don't know?
Our store is located just south of the Clear Lake City Boulevard intersection. We face Highway 3 at 14020 Old Galveston Road, Suite 130.
And I looked at a picture of the storefront. It's a very attractive space.
It is. We are certainly, we are definitely blessed to have the space that we have.
And speaking of space, we were talking, there's going to be another space, not here, but it's going to help support the location here. Tell us about what you've got going on with that.
Yes, sir. We're in the process of building out our second location about 2 hours south of here in Victoria, Texas.
And you said you've got access to a ranch down there, and you're talking about possibly smoking your own meats. And
yes, sir. Down there, we'll be able to hopefully have a smokehouse, and at one day be looking forward to bringing in some of our own beef from some South Texas ranchers and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, nothing better than Texas beef, right?
There's nothing better than Texas beef.
So, is there anything else you want to tell the audience about? Any specials you're running, or just why pick the local butcher?
Why not? Try local. Just come give us a shot. We guarantee you to offer a complete different level of customer service and quality of meats than you're going to find anywhere else. Lots of our customers, once they come in once, they come back again, and we end up building friendships with them. I can't tell you how many I don't even call half of my customers customers. They're just friends.
Yeah, you're kind of, once people try that level of meat, you kind of ruin them on, going anywhere else, don't you? I mean, they kind of become, the flavor profile is so different that you kind of ruin any other kind of experience for them for meat. So they kind of have to come back at that point.
Well, I personally made a real rookie mistake early on, as I gave my wife some of the Wagyu fajitas from the Wagyu outside skirt steak fajitas before any others. And that's about the best. So I really have a hard time getting her to eat anything else after that.
I've noticed the same thing with my kids. They have expensive taste once you let them experience it.
My daughter tells me every day, "Daddy, I want heart steak."
So I love going to the butcher because I've been cooking a long time. I feel comfortable with it, but I think there's a certain hesitancy by people because maybe they're intimidated by it. The last thing you'd want to do is ruin a really fine piece of meat. So what could you tell people about when they come in, how they can overcome some of that fear of dealing with, a very specific product, and what should they be looking for?
Best thing I can say is be open. We may not have that your butcher may not always have that one exact specific cut you're looking for, but he might have 5 others that will almost do the same thing, and they possibly might make it better.
That's good advice. It's and that speaks to the freshness. Is you're not going to try to carry everything. You're going to have what you have, and you're gonna present that in the best way possible. So
It is, and it's like our chicken. One of our only complaints that we've gotten, and when we first opened, was the price of our chicken. And I'm guilty. When we were opening the store, I was looking to source the chicken. And to me, chicken was always chicken. I'm not a big chicken eater, besides wings. And when I tried the chicken that we carry, the Bell & Evans, I was absolutely mind blown, because the flavor and everything that you're getting from that meat is coming from the quality. And it's just, it was wild to me to taste that quality of chicken for the first time.
yeah, at the very beginning of the pandemic, it's funny you mentioned that. One of the FFAs was trying to get rid of, there was nowhere the kids could get rid of the stuff. And so we bought a couple of chickens from one of the local FFAs, and you're right. The flavor is outrageously different from the stuff you're getting at the store. And so if you can, and I know you have some experience with FFA and all, what, on the commercial level, what's happening to the chickens, the beef, that changes it so dramatically?
Just the way they're feeding it out. And, sometimes some places use hormones on the chicken and stuff. And that's the difference. That's what you get, those big, giant chickens. Our whole chickens range from 3.5 to 4.5 pounds. Our chicken breast average is about 9 ounces. You're not getting these giant 3-inch thick, genetically modified, chicken breasts that you can't get the inside cooked because the outside's completely dried out. It's a complete different level of quality and flavor. And the flavor and the taste is unlike any other.
Well, I appreciate you coming by. It's been great. I like I said, I share some of your passion, not nearly at the level, but I'm going to stop by on my way home from work one day. I work in Pasadena. I'm going to stop by, and I'm going to get a nice steak for my family, and I'll spoil them. So it's been a pleasure.
We'll get you fixed up for sure. Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Clear Lake Connections. Please follow us on our social media, and you can find our recordings on all of the platforms. And if you want to learn more or become better at business, I encourage you to join the Clear Lake Area Chamber of Commerce so that you can help grow your business. Visit clearlakearea.com to learn more.